Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Justina, creator of Bohemian Magic Studios, and today I'm making a very spooky and special concoction in my witchin' kitchen. I have my Hocus Pocus shirt on. I'm really in the mood for all the spookiness and the spirit season, and we are getting closer and closer to the thinning of the veil. So I am going to concoct a little bit of a little kitchen spell, and this is a recipe for black salt. Now I found like a bunch of different recipes online, but I'm just gonna kind of like go with the base of the ingredients for this recipe, and then I'm gonna kind of concoct and mix together my own kind of blend. I'm actually going to be putting them in these little jars here that I got at a dollar store by my house. So I'm really excited. I think these are so adorable. So I thought it'd be really cute to fill these with some black salt for the spirit season, and I'm going to just bind the tops with wax, and I have my own kind of little blend that I want to make today, so I'm going to just have fun and experiment with that. And I'm actually going to be sending these out as gifts for my patrons. This is just a little thing out of appreciation, and also I have little plastic baggies as well. I'm also going to be sending a little thing of black salt to my lower end tier patrons and a little greeting card. By the time you will be seeing this, you probably might have already gotten it. This video is basically the process of me actually making it, so this might not be up right away. You might see this after the fact. So thank you to all my patrons. I will be sending you some black salt so you can utilize it and keep yourself protected from all those evil energies and negative spirits during this spooky season. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys. Let's just get started. I'll show you some of the ingredients that I have on hand today, and they're all stuff that you find in your kitchen pantry. Besides the little jars, you're gonna have to go scout these out. You could probably find them in any craft supply store, Dollar General. So I'll show you what I have on hand. The very first thing you're going to need is your salt, right? Because we are making black salt, and this is actually coarse. You can use fine salt if you like, but I really like the look of the coarse crystals. I think they're so pretty. I think those are just gorgeous, and those are going to probably take to the recipe pretty well. So the next thing that you're going to want to use is charcoal. Now, you can get charcoal out of your fire pit. This is where I got mine. We had a nice little bonfire a couple nights ago, or actually like a week ago, and I just took this charcoal from the fire pit once it has been extinguished, and I'm actually going to keep this. I can utilize this for any other vanishing recipes, anything black that absorbs the negative energy. I'm going to actually grind that up because I know this is stainless steel, but I don't want to ruin my bowls. So I'm going to actually put this in a baggie, and then I'm going to just gently try to grind that into a powder. And then I have some bay leaf, which is excellent for protection. I have some rose, which is great to infuse it with love. And I have some sage in here from our garden. This is not white sage, this is actually garden sage, but it's still sage, so you can use that as well. And then I have some anise as well for purification. Also, the anise will smell very good for the season. I have clove bud. I have ground cloves here, so maybe I'll put a little powdered ground clove in it. But I also wanted some whole clove because I think those just look so pretty. So I'm going to use some whole clove as well. And then I also have some orange peel that I've dehydrated a while ago, so I might snip a few pieces of that and then just put it in my little mixture. And I think all of these colors are going to look so beautiful in our little jars. And then for an extra pop of color, we have my favorite fall flower, which is the marigold. And this is great for ancestral magic and honoring your loved ones and ancestors who have passed on. And this is just going to just bind our black salt with the love and protection of our ancestors who are watching over us and guiding us and protecting us with their beautiful magical white light. And all these little pops of color are gonna look so pretty in our little vials. And I think all of these fall scents with the clove and the orange and the rose and the sage, I think it's just gonna all smell amazing together. And then I also have some essential oils. I have this harvest spice blend, and this has a lot of great stuff in it. Cinnamon bark oil, clove bud oil, eucalyptus, cedarwood, nutmeg, and cinnamon bark oil. One is cassia and then one is cinnamon. They're a little different. So the harvest spice blend has a lot of great stuff in it. I might add a drop or two of that. And then I also have rosemary. I'm not sure how these are going to smell together, but rosemary is also a good protective agent, so maybe I'll put a little drop of rosemary in it as well. Not sure yet. We'll see how things are smelling. If they're smelling a little too busy, then I'll lay off the rosemary. But I think I have a good base to work with here, so I'm just gonna get started. Oh, and then one more thing. To seal my little vials here, I also have some wax going over here in my little warmer that my cousin got me. I think it was my birthday last year. She got me this cute little sugar skull. I love it so much, and it's a little wax warmer, and it's too bright in there, but it's not a candle in there, it's actually a light bulb, so it plugs in, so it's cat safe, kid safe, it's safe. So I like a good safe way to burn wax. And then I'm going to seal my little vials with that wax once I put the mixture in here. So let's get started. We're going to start crushing up our charcoal and mixing it together with the salt, and then grind some herbs and make a great, beautiful black salt blend for Samhain. First, we're going to start by adding our charcoal to a large plastic baggie and seal it tightly. We're going to start breaking down the larger chunks with a kitchen mallet. You want to get as closely as you can to a fine powder, but it is a bit tough to get that consistency with this tool. You could invest in a coffee bean grinder and dedicate it strictly to your magical workings. That might achieve a finer powder consistency. However, I worked with what I had, and I think I grinded it down as much as I possibly could with the mallet. Set that aside for a moment and fill a stainless steel bowl full of your sea salt. I kind of eyeballed it, but I probably used about a cup to a cup and a half. Now add your crushed charcoal to your salt and stir until they both combine enough so that the salt starts to turn a blackish color. If your charcoal bits still aren't crushed completely, you can try to break it up a bit more with the back of your spoon. Also, the more charcoal you add, the blacker your salt will be. It is completely up to you how much you would like to add. I kind of just eyeballed mine, but if I were to guess, I would probably be about 1 part charcoal to 2 parts salt. Once that is a nice smoky dark charcoal black color, set that aside and let's make our powdered spice mixture. In a small bowl, mix a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of ground ginger, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove. Now I forgot to add it, but you can also add a pinch of garlic powder as it has repelling energies that is said to keep the energy vampires at bay. Now set that aside and get out your mortar and pestle. In your mortar, add 3 to 4 bay leaves and grind those up with your pestle. If they are tough to mash up, try ripping them a bit first so it's easier to crush them with your pestle. Next, I ripped apart some rose petals and added them to my mixture. I also plucked some petals off a dried marigold for the healing protection of my ancestors. Next, I cut some dried orange peel. Adding this to your mixture is sure to add a nice citrus autumn flair to your concoction. This is starting to look really beautiful and it smells so lovely. Now let's add a pinch of whole cloves and some dried sage for some spiritual protection. Give that another good mix, and then let's add some star anise. Even if you don't add this to your salt vials, this would make a lovely protection potpourri which you could place in a little sachet charm bag along with your favorite crystals. Now set that aside for now and let's bring back our stainless steel bowl. Let's now add our powdered spice concoction to our charcoal salt mixture and give that a good stir until you no longer see the brown color. Now I added some flower petals just to give it a nice pop of color and infuse it even further with their magical properties. The petals I used were rose and marigold. Now I decided to give this blend a little more of an aromatic punch of spice, so I added about 5 drops of my doTERRA Harvest Spice Gathering Blend Essential Oil. Now with clean hands, let's give all of our magical contents a good mix. Mixing with our hands puts our energy and intent into our magical recipes. As you're putting your energy into this, envision your hands charging the salt with a positive energy so strong that any negative or evil energy that comes into contact with this concoction will just become swallowed up whole and absorbed by it completely. Now let's set our mixture aside and prep our little glass vials. So I'm just taking them out of the package and removing the corks, and I'm going to wipe them down with a damp paper towel just to clear their energy. Now we don't want to wet the inside of the vials because we don't want any moisture getting into our salt mixtures. So it is very important that we wipe down the outside of our vials only. Now it is time to fill our vials with our magical mixture. I would just like to note the aromas coming out of this blend are absolutely gorgeous. It permeated my whole kitchen with such warm and spicy autumnal cozy kitchen vibes. I wish YouTube offered a smell-o-vision feature because this is just stunning. If you're a patron and you have received this blend in your Samhain gift package from me, drop a comment down below and describe the scent to our other viewers at home. Now that our vials are filled, let's top them with our protection potpourri that we grinded up in our mortar. I tried to make sure each vial had a bit of each element: some sage, a whole clove, a chunk of orange peel, some rose petal, and earlier I added an anise seed as well. Place the cork on and set aside as you prepare the rest the same way before we seal them all with our wax. I found some orange wax, which that's gonna look pretty. I think on top against the black, it's just gonna look like Halloween, so I'm for it. And the scent on this one is warm rustic woods. It's got a very soft, woodsy kind of smell, which is very pretty. So I think I'm just gonna go with this. So I'm gonna wait for this to warm, and then we'll get started on sealing our jars. But in the meantime, I'm gonna actually fill the rest of my jars. Alright guys, so here are all my little vials filled with black salt, my protection blend. So right now we're just waiting for the wax to melt, and then we're going to seal these. So while I'm sealing our little vials with our wax, I thought I would tell you a little bit more about black salt. According to learnreligions.com, black salt is primarily a protective magical tool. You can sprinkle it around the perimeter of your property a few times a year to keep the unpleasant people or things from crossing into your yard. You can also use it as work. Tuck a small bagful under your desk to prevent annoying coworkers from hanging around. If someone you dislike is leaving your home, wait until they're gone, and then follow along where they walked. Toss some black salt into their footsteps to keep them from returning. You can dress a black candle in oil and roll it around in black salt and use it in spell work for banishing negative entities or people. If you have leftover black salt after a working, depending on what you've used it for, it's something you may want to go ahead and get rid of. To dispose of black salt, if you've used it in a hexing or banishing, take it someplace far from your home and bury it or throw it into a fire. If you've simply used it for a protective boundary, you can bury it on your own property. You can also dispose of it by burying it near a crossroads or a graveyard, or toss it into a moving body of water like a stream or a river. But one thing is for certain, used black salt should never be reused. Some other things you can add to your black salt are black pepper or even some crushed up eggshell powder, as it is said to act as a protective barrier between the physical and spiritual planes. I hope you found this information useful as you decide how to use your own black salt this season. So for the most part, these are all done. I'm going to start putting together my little Halloween Samhain surprise packages that I will be sending out to my patrons. If you are a $3 and up tier patron, you'll probably be getting a little vial like this. But if you're a $1 patron, you'll be getting a greeting card with a little sample of black salt in this. And I will also do a separate video of me putting together these Samhain patron surprise packages. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video. Thank you so much for joining me today on Bohemian Magic Studios. And one more thing, I am actually going to design a Patreon exclusive black salt spell card that goes with these vials so that you know what kind of magic you can make with these vials. They're really good for clearing and banishing negative energy. There's also some marigold in here and sage and lots of stuff that you can use with ancestral magic. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in the spell cards, and those will be available on my Patreon page. Join my Patreon for $1 and you can download my complete printables gallery of witchy resources. So there's tons of spell cards on there, coloring pages, Book of Shadows pages, sticker sheet printables, apothecary labels, which I just released my new Samhain set, so go check those out in the description down below or in the info cards up here. I did a time lapse for the Mandrake root, which is in that label pack, which I am super excited about. Check that video out if you want to see me draw the little Mandrake root from Harry Potter, and also get a little sneak peek of the other apothecary labels in that set as well. So that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in my witchin' kitchen. I don't do too many witchin' kitchen videos as of lately. I've been focusing a lot more on my Patreon community and making artwork, a lot of artwork actually. So I'm really excited to get back into artwork. And also one more thing, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, because that really helps my channel. I know a lot of people who watch these videos might not be a subscriber, so if you are enjoying my videos, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell, because if you subscribe and don't hit the notification bell, you might not get notified about when I have new videos and new content available for you to see. That's very important. Yeah, and give this video a like as well. That also helps me. Comments help me. So I would greatly appreciate it if you comment, rate, and subscribe. That would help me out so much. I'm going to finish this, and I will see you guys very soon in another video. Blessings, blessed be. Love you. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, thank you so much to my patrons: Megan Baker, Dee Carubia, Michelle Zeman, Rachel Carter, Alyssa Wilson, Shelly Hitch, Kelsey Wood, Caitlin Morris, Heather Johnson, Jessica Fronrath, Jen Reichley, Ann McLaughlin, Nydia Weisprella, Veronica Lopez, Kelly Skelly, Vincent Carubia, Krista Rimmer, Gina Mucci, and B of the Whimsical Weekend. You can join me on my creative journey at patreon.com/Bohemian Magic Studios. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here soon.